Good evening. Um, when we've been talking in class, I've noticed some things that are occurring and you're not making connections. Initially, when you were in Algebra 1 and Algebra 2, you were learning how to solve quadratic equations. And one of the things that your teachers really push, and they did a good job, is factoring. But in general, if I take a quadratic at random, I can't typically factor it. So then they derived the quadratic formula. And if my memory is correct, it's this. Now, I want to talk about this radicand. Remember, the radicand is the argument of a radical. That's called the discriminant. It's called the discriminant for a variety of reasons, but one is because it discriminates. It tells us the number of solutions that we have. Now, what you need to realize is this. Even though we taught it to you in Algebra 1 and Algebra 2, it has many different applications in a huge number of other areas, such as trigonometry, logarithmic functions, exponential functions, and so on. So when you're taking the discriminant, only three things can happen. So notice I've set up this foldable. So I would expect some of you to set this up. I cut four flaps. I glued the top flap down because I wanted that there. The discriminant is positive. If it's positive, you have two real solutions for a quadratic. If we're talking about something else, we'll have two real solutions, but then we're going to have to look at those solutions and determine if they make sense. Like, for example, when we get to sinusoids. If I'm using a quadratic formula and I come up with a solution of 4, I know that can't happen because the sine is a bounded function from -1 to 1. The discriminant is 0. Well, what's that mean? You have one real solution. Or the discriminant is negative. You have no real solutions, but you have two complex solutions. Now look, I would make this foldable. I would put it in your notebooks, and I would go from there. I hope this part helps. You have a great night. It's time to watch some football.